I honestly think that I prefer Halloween Resurrection over this movie. The whole first act of this movie could have been completely cut and you wouldn't have lost anything whatsoever. It starts off with a flashback of 1978 where it shows Michael getting captured and his interaction with Hawkins. Now, in 2018's version, I wasn't convinced that Hawkins died. And right from the get-go of this movie, it shows that he survived Sartain's attack, and he is indeed alive, which I quite liked. He already established that Michael had only killed 5 people in the original movie, so he couldn't kill anyone. So for the whole 10 or 15 minutes of that flashback, I knew that no one was going to be in danger. There was no threat from Michael whatsoever. He could bump into anyone, and nothing was really going to... All they did was set up a strange plot point where Michael likes to look out of his sister's window, and that someone else does it, and he gets attacked by Michael. Also, we got a bit of Loomis in this, which I wasn't expecting at all, but it was handled quite well. It wasn't too in your face, it wasn't quite focused on him, so you couldn't quite see him perfectly. And I think they had an impersonator do Loomis in the 18 version, and the person who came to do this one, the voice was completely different, which was a little bit off-putting, but it worked in the narrative. Then we cut to the present day, a bar, where they're having a talent show, and we have the doctor and the nurse who were in the previous film, just having a drink, enjoying the talent show. These old people come in, they're a bit rowdy and stuff like that. And it goes on for so long without doing anything. And then one of the old boys steps up to the microphone and reveals he's Tommy Doyle and that he survived the massacre all those years ago. And it points at the other characters, being like, oh, that's Lindsay, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so, and that's so-and-so. And you have the flashback every single time he points at someone to who they were in the original film, and it's just so unnecessary. I've never seen a movie do that, where they actually point out the people and they give them each their individual flashbacks to show who they are. It's just so pointless and so annoying. What's the point in bringing these characters back if you have to do that? There's no point whatsoever. It just drags the movie out and it ruins the pacing of the movie. And they're not doing anything in the bar apart from talking about surviving the original attack. They're not finding out on TV that Michael's loose and he's killing again or anything like that. No. They're just enjoying their drinks, enjoying the talent show. You have some people dressed up as mermaids. That's it. That is the first act of this movie. No Michael killing anyone. He's not running around doing anything in the meantime. It's just them in a bar getting wasted. Until they all get a text saying, oh, Michael Myers doesn't go to the car because they think Michael's stolen one of their cars, and they're like, oh, we're gonna get him. But no, it's another mental patient. They are running around through this whole movie not knowing where Michael is, causing mayhem wherever they go. And that's basically the movie in a nutshell. Nothing really happens in the movie at all. All the people who are brought back who are supposed to have this big thing happen to them, nothing happens. Nothing happens. A few of them are killed off, and the Strode trio that were introduced, there's no character development from them throughout this whole movie. They were boring in the last movie, and yet again, they're still boring. They don't do anything in this movie at all. Michael's just going from place to place, just killing people that we haven't been established to, and they have one of the worst horror tropes that they have in modern cinema in this, where they introduced a gay couple. They're all nice, they're all lovely, they're a bit fun, and they just get brutalized. They get brutally killed. More horrific than anyone else in this movie. Everybody else just gets stabbed or something like that. No, he's gouging these poor folks' eyes out and completely abusing them. It's disgusting. It's just disgusting. They could have easily been switched with the nurse and doctor, and they could have been part of the mob. They could have been, they could have been a bit more established in this movie and actually warrant the death that they got. But no, instead they were just living at the Myers house, and Michael comes, because that's what Michael does. He apparently, throughout the whole thing, he's just going because he just wants to be home. Why does he need to be home? I don't know. I love the mythos of the Myers house. I think it's great in all the rest of the Halloween movies. But in this movie, it just felt so out of place for what was previously been established. What was established is he's just a random serial killer. He's not after anyone in particular. He's not going anywhere. He just kills randomly. But in this, for some reason, he's going home. Why? Why is he going home? Why does it even matter? It doesn't. And of course, throughout the whole movie, Laurie is written off. She's not doing anything in this movie. Neither's Hawkins, even though he survived. They have a nice moment where it's hinted that there is a bit of a connection there and they could have a love interest. I thought it was going to be revealed that he was Karen's father, and I was like, oh my word, this could actually be awesome. But no, they never do that. Apparently they shared a kiss, and that was that. Karen, apart from Tommy creating a mob in the hospital where everybody goes nuts and like, oh my word, Michael Myers is here, we must get him, all from this nutjob going, help me, help me. Do they not realise that Michael doesn't talk? Tommy's met Michael before, so surely he would know that he doesn't talk. And no, they all go chasing around this hospital throughout this thing, and they're all chasing this poor bloke. And Karen finds him, and she looks after him, and she's like, I will protect you, I will look after you. Which I liked. I liked that bit. I thought that was good. But then he jumps out the window and makes the whole thing pointless. And when he's splat on the ground, Tommy walks over to him. He's like, this could be Michael Myers. We've never seen him unmasked before. He could be anyone. And I'm like, this guy's huge. He's fat, right? He was lean and he was tall. And this guy's a short, fat guy. They're clearly not the same person. There is no common sense in this movie whatsoever. People have guns and they can't shoot. For Jack, they miss all the time. Like, even at point blank range, they can't shoot Michael. One somehow shoots himself in the neck, somehow, but they can't shoot Michael. Even the trained cops can't shoot Michael, and all he's doing is walking extremely slowly, and they can shoot behind his head and in front of his head. I don't know if that's something that they were like, oh yeah, you can't shoot Michael, you can't do that. It's just not what we do. It was just so stupid and so frustrating throughout the whole thing. Aaron from this movie, nothing would have fundamentally changed. Nothing in the narrative would have changed whatsoever. Allison would have still gone with the mob to try and find Michael and kill him and put an end to the evil, as they keep saying 100 times throughout this movie. Oh, evil must come to an end. We've got to kill it. No one actually does it. And even when the mob run into Michael, they don't call for backup. Go, oh yeah, we found Michael. You got to come. We'll kill him. We'll hold him off. But you got to come and back us up. No. In 3 different instances, they don't do that. They are so stupid. Like the continuity they set up in the last movie, where Laurie was in a forest. And she didn't have any neighbours. There was no one around her at all. She was isolated from the world, right? But in this, somehow she has neighbours. She's living in the middle of a forest that's completely fenced off from the rest of the world, but somehow she now has many neighbours, right? And let's talk about Michael's escape from the burning building, right? So the firemen show up, right? He's hiding in one of the drawers, right? At the guns and the ammunition, and I don't know if anyone knows, but if you get ammunition too hot, it explodes. Because in this movie, logic's thrown out the window, it doesn't matter. So he's got the shutter down, a fireman falls through the floor, and then he just pulls the shutter up, just kills him. And another fireman comes and just holds his hand down to try and save him. And I don't actually know how Michael got out, because I can't imagine him actually holding the guy's arm and actually letting him pull him out. Because he just kills everyone. He just kills everyone for no reason. There are 20 firemen, right? With chainsaws, axes, a fire hose, right? And he just walks up to them with this metal rod, and they all run at him one at a time. 20 people all run at him one at a time. They take turns and are all slaughtered. No one even run. No one run. If at least 2 of them attacked him at the same time. So stupid. And then he walks off, and of course he's killing people as he goes to the house. Oh yeah, it's such a creative movie. Wow. I can't believe that they made their own new continuity, right? To run it into the ground. There are so many things that they could have done in this movie, but they don't. Nothing happens in this movie. Nothing at all. That's what bothers me, because I don't think the 2018 version is anything great. I think it's a decent movie, and I've watched it loads of times. But this movie, it's just garbage. Nothing actually happens. There's no character development, there's no story, nothing. You don't get anything in this movie whatsoever. I did like that they included Cameron, Alison's boyfriend, and they brought him back, and they had like a nice little recoupling, and then they get in the car with the dad, and then they go to hunt Michael as well. This movie just frustrates me so much because it had so much potential. Now, he's pissing about. Alison, Cameron's dad, and Cameron all pull up to the house. They found out that Michael is home. Dad says to him, wait in the car, I'm going to go look. Right. Not like you brought these two here for any particular reason, apart from hunting Michael, and now you're telling them to just sit in the car, and you're going to go in there solo. Okay, right, that's going to go well. They hear a gunshot, they run in. There's no hesitation whatsoever, they run in, find the dead bodies of the gay couple. Cameron gets killed, which, to be fair, is a good bit, because he does it in such a way where it's like he's glorifying the kill. And he's taunting Alison. And when Cameron show a bit of life and Michael's walking down the stairs to kind of like go and finish Alison off, decides to just snap his neck. Just to give her that little bit more. There was a part where I genuinely thought Alison was going to die. I was like, oh my word, they're actually going to do it. They're not going to kill who I expected them to kill, Karen. They're going to kill Alison. This is going to be amazing. And of course, last minute, no, she was Karen to the rescue. Karen unmasks him after stabbing him. She runs off, and of course, it's an ambush by the mob, which I predicted straight away. They're all beating him up, and it seems like they've got the upper hand. And then it cuts to Laurie, and she's saying, oh yeah, Michael's like ascending. Every single time that he kills someone, he becomes even stronger. And it's such an arse pull. It's so out of nowhere. They haven't established this anywhere, right? It's like, okay, but you clearly can damage him because you've blown 2 of his fingers off with a shotgun. You've knocked his ass out with a car, and now you're saying the more people he kills, the stronger he becomes. What? I mean, it makes no sense. How is he sending? Is he going to be floating and killing people in the next one? Is he going to become some sort of bloody Superman from killing people? It's ridiculous. It's genuinely ridiculous. And we've had a cult in the Halloween movies before. It wasn't handled as badly as this is. Because at least in those movies, it made some sense. When he like Bond with Jamie, it made more sense than him suddenly ascending. So the mob beat his ass up, and he's just lying there. And as soon as Laurie's finished off her little speech, he just rises. What a waste of time. To summarise, right? No character development. No interesting story. No interesting kills. Not one kill was interesting. So what does that leave us with? This movie doesn't give us anything. And to put the topping on the cake, right at the very end, Michael's back in his house, right? The helicopter surrounding his house. Alison was in the front of the house, looking at his sister's room again. So the amount of people who would have to walk past to actually get there is just silly. He could have easily have killed Alison on the way. He could have even killed Alison when Karen stole his mask. He did it with Cameron, so why not Alison? I don't get it. She's got plot armor again in this movie. He throws her down the stairs because she can't die, because she is the new Laurie. She's gone through all the trauma, she's survived, and now she wants to kill him. Exactly the same as Laurie. Why do we need both of them? Why do they both need to be alive? Why do they both need to have exactly the same characteristics? There's nothing different about them now. They're exactly the same character. Just one's older than the other. So, as I was saying, Karen walks upstairs for some bloody reason, and he stabs her to death. And then the title card, Halloween Kills, pops up. Was that supposed to be good? Because even when he was killing the mob, even when he was killing Karen, it kind of got into like a shaky cam, so you couldn't actually quite see what was going on. It's just such a waste of time watching this movie. I really, really wanted to like it. I generally did. I generally tried to like this movie, but I couldn't. Even when he was killing the mob, I actually had to ask if Brackett had died. And he was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he died, even though I'm pretty sure we didn't see him die. But no, he was part of the mob, so, you know, Tommy's dead, Brackett's dead, Nurse is dead. Lindsay survived, she bricked Michael, that was cool, that was smart. No one else does anything smart in this movie, that was smart. Through this movie, it sucks.